Hello Leo friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Leo June 2025 astrology horoscope forecast. I'm calling the theme of this month for Leo's triple turn of fate, you're not going back, and I will get into all the details about how Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune changing signs are putting you on a completely different path. Not even going to mention in this report beyond this that Uranus is also about to change signs next month because it's just too much to talk about at once. I'll talk about that in July's report. But this is a really big time. We very rarely have one planet change signs. And now, since last year and into the middle of this year, we'll have 5, all of the outer planets changing signs. So it's really big time for change. We'll go into what that means for you as a Leo and talk about some other things that are more short term but still relevant. This is for you if Leo is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Leo placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. Very late degree Leo friends, so birthdays like August 15th through the rest of the sign, or Leo degrees 23 degrees through the rest of the sign. I suggest you additionally listen to my Virgo report, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. All right, so let's start out with some of the faster moving, less consequential, but very active, very busy, very meaningful to this month things that are going on, because they will definitely be in your face. First thing that we notice is that Hygeia, the Sun, and Mercury are all in Gemini. That's making for a very busy time of lots of communication, lots of movement, lots of mobility going here and there. This energy is an upward spiral, so you will be all over the place. Keep your respiratory health on track because this does tend to put it under duress when we have this much energy in Gemini, which rules the respiratory tract. But for Leos, this is a good thing because this is a 60-degree angle that's happening with all of these Gemini placements. We do still have until June 9th of Jupiter being in Gemini, and for a very long time we'll have Sedna there. So we're not going to get into that, but it's a tremendous amount of Gemini energy. And all of it is active, and all of it is forward moving. And not only is it forward moving by nature of itself, it's also because this is one of the only months of the whole 2025 year that we don't have any retrograde personal planets, that all of the outer planets, even except for Pluto, are all going direct. And we don't have any shadow periods in the pre or post-transit shadow periods of Mercury, Venus, or Mars. So it's the first time that it's been like that since September. We started to step into this time in the middle of May, but this is the first full month. And it will pass quickly, and then we'll start to go into Mercury retrograde again, but at least we won't have any more bother from Venus or Mars retrograde for a while. All right, we'll just be back to our basic periodic Mercury retrogrades. But it is notable because this month, if you are going to do something big, a big move, a big job change, something that is a new chapter or even a new book in your life, so big that is out of that book and it's just a whole new book. It's not even a new chapter anymore. Those are the kind of things that this forward moving, or like I like to say, the tides are going out, are really good for. Since September into the middle of May, we were really just sitting on the shore waiting for things to come to us and watching what happens and responding. Because when we try to put things out, it would bounce back to us because the tides are going in. We'd paddle and still wind up back at the shore. But now, in the middle of May, all of June, into a little bit of July, we will have the tides completely going out. So anything that you do during this time will travel further, wider, and with more ease and grace than if you did it during the time when the tides are going in. It's energetic, okay? So that's what's going on. So you will have lots of opportunities in friendships and social circles. Gemini is very social. It does rule friendships. But the place that it's moving through in your chart, the 11th house, is the second area of friendships, which is Aquarius. So opportunities to connect with groups, online or in person, teams, internet presence, social media. If you're wanting to launch something with social media, this is a fantastic time for that. There are a lot of sweet dates. We have 13 beautiful aspects this month. I'm not going to go into all of those here, but if you go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free VIP community, when you get the welcome letter and the archive link, put June 2025 astrology, you'll get my monthly written star report with the sweet and salty dates. And I will give you not only all the dates of those aspects, but also my favorite ones. So if you're trying to align with the natural rhythms, that will be, a helpful free guide for you. But either way, this month is full of those opportunities. We also have quite a few road bumps. So we'll be like, wee, boo. But at least we're out of the major eclipse time. So that's a check. We've gone through a lot of change already, right? March, April into May, we had big changes go on from those eclipses. And now we're sort of getting into a new normal from the changes that happen with those. And we're up for our next set of changes that will come from these outer planet movements. So we've got local movement, busy, driving around, talking, doing stuff. But then we also have long distance type of things, or big move types of things. And as I said before, big commitments, big contracts, big purchases, big sales. Or maybe I didn't say it. I'm saying it now. Big decisions, basically. Having all the energy moving forward this month is really helpful. And although it's a busy sky with all the different aspects, we have almost 30 mathematical connections between the planets this month. But we're not in the eclipse energy and we're not in the retrograde energy. So those are things to celebrate. Okay, so Venus will be moving through your 10th house of work and career. This may help you to earn what you want to get offers, possibly more than one, for your new work. So Venus going into Taurus is going to make you very focused on your finances, and you may notice that there are things that you are ready to do, your money, investments, and this also may have to do with your work and career. And you may get that raise, you may start that new job, you may get the better benefits that you are looking for. There's something important going on as Venus, the ruler of Taurus, moves into the sign of Taurus and moves through your 10th house, which is another earth house, which is a material plane, which is of your work and employment. This also can be passion projects, so you may get funding for a passion project if you were doing something that has nothing to do with income or things like that. There may be notable things that go on with your parents this month. Because this 10th house, which, historically is father figures, but I've definitely seen moms show up there depending on their role in the household. And, so you may see something notable happen financially with with one of your parents or someone else in your family. Mars has been in or near Leo, your sign, for a long time, and that is changing. So that's going to go into Virgo, which is going to highlight your 2nd house, which is ruled by Venus. And Venus is in the sign of Taurus, and Mars will be going through the house of Taurus. So you see that your material world, whether it's getting your hands in the earth or making things with your hands, or seeing to environmental things, or just focusing on your financial health and your financial sustainability. There's a very, very strong focus on those areas of your life of getting security in those placements, emotionally, financially, materially. Okay, so a couple of dates to note. June 9th is when Jupiter will go into Cancer. We're about to talk about this change. June 11th, we've got the full moon at 20 degrees of Sagittarius. You may be packing to go far and wide, or starting an education program, or starting to teach something. This is a beautiful launching point if you're trying to have an education-based channel or social media. June 25th, we've got the new moon at 4 degrees of Cancer. That will add to this energy of Jupiter moving into Cancer and bring about new energy in home and family and real estate. That full moon in Sagittarius in the days around the 11th is going to make a beautiful glow in your 5th house of true love, of children, of your bucket list, of your leadership, of your work being seen, of your creativity. And so if it is your creative spirit that is trying to launch something, let's say in the 11th house arena of social media or internet, or something materially for a work-based thing, your creativity is going to be really shining, and a creative project may really come to fruition, or you may have a brilliant idea that you might get started at this time. Full moons do bring things to fruition, but they don't always only mark the end of something or the culmination. Sometimes they will come in as a big idea that's elucidated that you then can use that full moon energy to take action on. So as Jupiter moves into Cancer, it will be there from June 2025 until June 2026. Jupiter takes about a year to move through a sign. You're going to see home and family and real estate and housing and your roots and your ancestry energy and your inner world be lit up like the 4th of July. And that is, that's happening for all signs. So that, coupled with that new moon in Cancer on the 25th, is bringing a lot of house, home energy to Leo at this time. new information about that. If you're trying to buy a house, this could be amazing for that. Or you may move to a perfect house, or you may bloom where you're planted and expand that space in wonderful ways. Or you may find out that you're having a baby, or you may be welcoming a baby in, or you may be getting together with someone who already has kids and your world is expanding. But home and family is expanding in a big way. And this is specifically going to light up for Leo, your 12th house of your intuition, your inner world, your connection with dreams and synchronicity, and your spiritual connections and your psychological understandings of your life. It's where all of the stuff is stored in your attic from your ancestry and the cosmic soup, where we got everything from, right? So the gunk and the gold is all in there, and Jupiter is going to accentuate your connection with that space. This year can be very monumental over the course of the last 12 years to enhancing your intuition and going deeper into those spaces. Now, if you want to think back to around March 2013 through July 2014, that was the last time that Jupiter was in Cancer. It was actually June 2013 through July 2014, but I'm giving that 3-month radius that I say I always see 3 months before Jupiter gets somewhere. It starts acting on where it's going at the same time as acting where it is. So yeah, just think back to March of 2013 into July of 2014. What were you doing? Did you move? A lot of people move, or you expand your home, or you have a roommate, or you move in with someone and they move in with you. You have an awakening, a spiritual awakening of some sort, a psychological healing, something like that. And then if you go back to around April of 2001 through August of 2002, again with the 3-month radius, July of 2001 is when it officially went into Cancer. I'll give it the 3 months before. What went on from April of 2001 through August of 2002? That was meaningful in those Cancer home, family, real estate areas, or in your inner world. There's possibilities that can expand upon what happened already, and there are new possibilities, new connections with your dream time, new mastering of your psychological space and your unruly mind and directing it more. We direct into manifestation through our emotions. This is something that is shown by quantum physics. If you follow the work of Greg Braden, he is really, really fantastic at explaining this interface between science and spirituality, which is where I am as well, and where I like to show how science meets spirituality. This is one of those banner times for Leo where, the psychological, physiological truths about our body can overflow into the space of spiritual connection pretty easily, where you might start making those connections very readily. So it's a really exciting time. So Jupiter is going to bring big changes, the triple turn of fate here that we're talking about. The other two members to make those three are Saturn and Neptune, moving into a fire sign each, which means that for several years, Saturn is going to trine the most favorable aspect in all of astrology, Leo. And for 14 years, Neptune is going to trine Leo. Okay, so this is really good news, because when we have, when it was moving through Pisces, both of them were moving through Pisces, there was a long term, like for Neptune, it was 14 years, for Saturn, it was several years of difficult angles of Pisces to Leo. If you were dealing with things with addictions, if you're dealing with things with escapism, if you're dealing with muddled emotional and financial entanglements, all of those things are starting to rise into Leo's favor at this time for the long term. But this is all happening in this period of time. So, and all of this is happening in your 9th house of Sagittarius, which is teaching and learning and expansion and broadening your horizons and optimism and mountaintop views or bigger picture thinking. And the connectedness of all things, where you can see how things are more connected when you're looking from a higher vantage point. And Neptune is spiritualizing, and Saturn is anchoring and discerning. While Neptune is dissolving certain people and things out of your life, Saturn is putting the things there and strengthening them that will be able to sustain for the long term. So it's a really kind of cool tag team that they have going on there, working together, and very, very much for your benefit here, because of the angle it's making to you. Now, this is true for all Leo placements, but you definitely will have even more notice of this if you are like my bestie Jessica and have an early, July 22nd, July 23rd. Oh, and also one of my other buddies, Hillary. I have two very good friends that have birthdays right here, and I've been smiling about this for them because, and all of you who are in the beginning of the Leo spectrum, because you'll be getting some very obvious things. Everyone else, you'll be feeling it, and you may get super obvious things that happen, but the earlier you are in it, the more it's connecting exactly with your placement. So, this is a very big time. Okay, so this month, the triple turn of fate. If you want to see more about what is going on in June, including my sweet and salty dates, if you want to pick some good dates to do important things and know the salty ones to kind of steer clear of, including we have 2 outer planet transits that are kind of long term that will be affecting, go to anniehelpsyou.com. Click on the free VIP community, put your name and email address in, get the welcome letter, click on the archive link, put June 2025 in there, and get that very detailed write-up. If you want to know where all these outer planet movements are going to affect you in your personal chart, as well as have deeper understandings about the general transits, I have a personalized outer planet transit report. You can go to anniebclarity.com, Annie, the letter B, clarity.com. If you want more information about Jupiter, if you want to watch for your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, go to anniehelpsyou.com, scroll down until you see the Secret Star portal. That's my exclusive content portal where you get the earliest access to all of my public work. And that's also going to include Jupiter in Cancer through all the signs and houses. If you want to learn astrology, go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.